How many people are present physically at Beach Luxury? DT Abdullah?
There are so far, there are 3 people, more are on the way. So yeah, all right. So shall we start? 6:30. We should start. All right. Okay, everyone, good evening, and for some, good morning. Welcome to 1031st meeting of Karachi Toastmasters Club. We welcome you all. As the Sergeant at Arms, there are some protocols that we need to follow. The first is that we choose not to talk about 3 subjects: sex, religion, and politics. We do not advocate discrimination or derogatory remarks against any community, caste, creed, or gender. And we also uphold the Toastmasters value of integrity, respect, service, and excellence. Secondly, we prefer that all of us are visible on the video so that those who are online can have a sense of being with the people that are present. Yeah, that's more like it. And thirdly, we stay muted by default, both online and in person, unless it's our turn to speak. We avoid crosstalk between speeches, although after a speech is over, everyone is encouraged to share their thoughts about the speech to the speaker. And finally, we avoid movement during speeches, especially noisy movements. So with that, once again, I declare the meeting open and welcome our President, Toastmaster Hiba Rais Khan, onto the stage.
Okay, fellow Toastmasters and guests, Toastmasters is a public speaking platform where people from all walks of life come together to improve their public speaking skills as well as leadership skills. It was founded back in 1924 by Ralph C. Smedley in Englewood, Colorado. And USA. And it has more than 350,000 members worldwide. And with that, do we have any guests physically right now?
No, no physical guests, just online guests.
Okay, online guests, how many? This.
Well, we have our guest, Toastmaster M. Kumar, sir, T.M. Kumar, if I'm correct. So please state your full name and introduce yourself. T.M. Kumar, sir, would you like to introduce yourself? Sir, you're muted. You're muted. We can't hear you. I think he has, yeah, there he is. Yes, sir. Sir, please introduce yourself. Okay, I think he logged out. Oh, there he is. Yeah.
I am just trying to fix up my camera. It is acting up today.
No worries, sir. We can see you and hear you.
Better.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, I'm T.M. Kumar from Malaysia, District 102. Member of the Toastmasters Club of Kulwang. Been a member since 89. Charter member. And back to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. It's an honor to have you. we have Ms. Zarmeen Lakhani. Ms. Zarmeen, would you like to introduce yourself? And how did you find out about Karachi Toastmasters Club?
Absolutely. So I stumbled across the website. I didn't even know that it's functional, as the website isn't pretty updated. So I reached out to the person, I think, the organizer, and I sent them a couple of emails. Then I heard back. So yeah, that's how I got connected. Besides that, what got me interested is I think the forum itself is about public speaking, and I really felt that I need to polish these skills. So I'm looking forward to that.
All right, welcome, and I hope you enjoy the meeting. Next, we have Ms. Ansha Hussain. Please introduce yourself. Ms. Ansha Hussain. All right, we
Hello.
can. Hello, yes.
Hello, myself Ansha Hussain. Basically, I'm from Karachi, Pakistan. And as I shared that my mother's colleague recommended me about Karachi Toastmasters Club because I recently completed my second year and I want to pursue in psychology. So I want to, polish my skills in public speaking and to boost up my self-confidence. That is why I'm.
All right, thank you so much, and you've come to the right place. Next, we have some habitual guests who have become like our not exactly members, because becoming a member requires payment of fee, but and we have our district admin manager with us today, so we cannot term them as members. We have to be very strict about rules, but nevertheless, Toastmaster Irfan Faruqi, please introduce yourself.
Yes, thank you very much for giving me a title, at least as a habitual member, habitual non-member participant. My name is Irfan Faruqi. I'm from Lahore, and I've been the president of Century Paper Toastmaster Club last year, so IPP. And the other thing is that Karachi Toastmaster Club is my favorite club, and I love to participate in your sessions, particularly from learning point of view. One of the best clubs where learning is excellent. That's why I always try to join your club. And today it seems that I am unofficially accepted as a part of the club.
Yes, sir, as one of the permanent guests. Yeah, of course. We always value your presence. Yes, Toastmaster Hina, you're saying something?
Indeed, I'd just like to say I am the district admin manager. So I think I feel very proud to say that he may be a non-member of Toastmasters in Karachi Toastmasters Club. But Toastmaster Farooq, you are a member of Toastmasters, and therefore you are considered a member anyway.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Let's confirm with the club group director before finalizing that. But yeah, of course, Toastmasters always welcome. It's like a global passport to any club in the world. So yeah, well pointed out, Toastmaster Hina. And that is why you are our administration manager after all. And next we have another habitual guest, Toastmaster Ahmed Shakur Malik, president of Ravi Toastmasters Club. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, DTM Talha. I really like to attend Karachi Toastmasters Club's meetings because I really learn a lot in these meetings, and I feel like 1038th meeting, it's something, and every member, even guests, they seem to be a lot better at public speaking than many meetings that I've attended of other clubs. So I feel like I learn a lot, and that is why I usually attend the meeting of Karachi Toastmaster Club, and hopefully someday I'll also be a official member of the club, inshallah. Thank you.
Inshallah. Looking forward. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ahmed. And yeah, we are through with guests. But let me just highlight here that today our member DTM Sarfraz is achieving a very significant milestone, and you will see in due course. And with that, I hand over the charge back to our president, Toastmaster Hiba Islam.
Do we have any announcements to make in the business session?
Yes, we have a recap of the previous meeting. So the previous meeting happened exactly, of course, 1 week ago, and from that meeting, the winners were Best Speaker and Best Critics Choice went to our debutant speaker, Toastmaster Elvin Faraz. Best Table Topics and top 3 Critics Choice speakers were Toastmaster Elvin Faraz, second place myself, and third place Toastmaster Mufaddal Murtaza. Best Table Topic speaker went to me because someone thought that I should be invited to Table Topics. So thank you so much, Table Topics Master. Best Evaluator went to our permanent guest, Toastmaster Irfan Farooqi. And Best Big Four award for the 3rd consecutive time, let me remind everyone, went to DTM Raghunath Raju. And finally, Best Facilitator award went to Toastmaster Wase Ahmed. And another bit of businesses that our academy meeting will take place this Saturday, and in that we expect to have some educational sessions. One will be most probably by DTM Raghu and one will be by DTM Sarfraz, again subject to their availability. They will be oriented towards education of our members, towards the art of speech crafting and storytelling, and especially relevant since this is contest season, which brings me to our international speech contest, which will happen on January 1, 2023. Everyone, please note down the date, January 1, 2023. It will be on a Sunday, 11 a.m. right here at Beach Luxury and also online. So it will be hybrid. Anybody can participate as long as you're not a district leader, as long as you have completed 2 levels in pathways. So with that, once again, over to you, Toastmaster Hiba.
Okay. And now we have one of our very dedicated and a very prominent Toastmaster of KTC as the Toastmaster of the day. He's none other than Toastmaster of the evening. He is none other than Toastmaster Imran Rana.
You start. I'm just adjusting it.
Thank you so much, Madam President, Toastmaster Hiba. I'm sure I'm audible and visible. So am I audible and visible to the virtual audience? Okay. Once upon a time, in a far, far away, there was a valley called Neverland. And in that valley, there was a boy named Dash who lived with his old parents in an old house made of woods. They were living a very difficult life until one day. The boy went out to cut the woods and to sell them in the market and get the food for his old parents. But one day what happened? When he was cutting the wood, suddenly a sound came. He ignored that sound, but he started cutting again. He ignored that sound and he concentrated on his work. Again, the sounds getting more and more. And what was that sound? Fellow Toastmasters and guests, let's forget about that sound. I'm sure you are getting bored with this fairy tale. So let me introduce the meeting segments. Every Toastmasters meeting has 3 segments. First one is the prepared speech segment. Second one is the table topic session. And finally, we have the evaluation segment. In prepared speeches, we have members of the club. They deliver their projects from pathways. And the speeches are about from 5 to 7 minutes. So when you become a member, you will have not 1.5 or 2.5 minutes, you will have 5 to 7 minutes or maybe more to brush up your skills, to face the audience more and more, to get confidence of public speaking, get confidence over language, and get confidence to face the audience. As it is mentioned that fear of the public speaking is the most is the dangerous fear amongst all. So once you become a member, you will get a chance to face the audience more and more and deliver some great prepared speeches. The second segment is called the table topic session. In table topic, this segment is also a fun-loving segment in which we allow guests to come on the stage, and there is a table topic master who will give extempore topics to the audience, and the audience and the members, they have to speak for about 1 to 2 minutes. This segment helps you to organize your thoughts in just 2 minutes and deliver it in front of the audience. I'm sure you must face an interviews if you are from professional life. You must have faced interviews, and in those interviews you faces different questions, and at the spot you have to answer them. So this table topic session will help you to improve your extempore speaking skills. And finally, the general evaluation segment. In evaluation segments, we have a great team of evaluators which will give us constructive feedback how to improve ourselves. The feedbacks are in a sandwich approach in which the listener will get more confidence and try to work on the areas of improvement so that next time he'll deliver the best in the best possible manner. Toastmasters meeting also teaches us how to work with a team. We have a team of facilitators which will help me to run this meeting smoothly. First, we have the grammarian, and for grammarian and word master, let me call upon on the stage. Just a minute. Okay, so the virtual stage for you, Toastmaster Bilal, please introduce your role as a grammarian and word master. Over to you. Please unmute yourself.
Hello, everyone.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are perfectly audible.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm TM Bilal. I will be presenting as a grammarian for this special evening. So my role will be to pinpoint every mistake that every Toastmaster will be doing here in their speeches. And I'm also responsible for providing the word of the day. The word of the day is axiomatic. That is something that is self-evident or something that is not questionable. An opinion that is you can say as a fact, like KTC is the finest club in the whole world. That's axiomatic. So that's the word of the day. So yeah, that's all from my side.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Bilal. Good to see you after a long time.
Likewise.
Yes. And please use word of the day axiomatic as many times as possible. Now we are moving towards our next role player. Our next role player is
Muzammil is on the way.
Okay.
You can introduce his role and then.
Okay. What about Toastmaster Musa? Is also
Musa is
online. Okay, for listener, we have Toastmaster Musa and the virtual stage is all yours. Toastmaster Musa, could you please explain the role?
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Uh, dear fellow Toastmasters and guests, being as a good listener is just as important as being a good speaker. So today my role as a listener, I will note interesting information or pointer information from any from the speakers and ask questions at the end of the meetings to see if everyone is paying attention or not. So back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Musa, for explaining your role wonderfully. Okay, we have timer. Okay, let me explain you the time. Wow, what a great surprise. Toastmaster Ghulam Kadir could be making timer of the meeting. Yes, seriously. Sure. So our timer is a very seasoned Toastmaster, Toastmaster Ghulam Kadir. The stage is all yours. Wow.
Thank you very much, Toastmasters. Today I'll be doing the role of timer, and my role will be to time the speeches, the table topic speeches, as well as the evaluations. So for speeches, the time starts from 5 to 7 minutes and ranges between, depends upon the project to project. So what I'll be doing is I'll be showing a green light on the 5 minutes, yellow light on 6 minutes, and red light on 7 minutes. So also it depends upon the project to project, and then accordingly I'll explain in the start of the speech as to if there is a lengthy project, then what sort of timing it will be. So on the table topic, the time will be from 2 to 3 minutes. 2 minutes I'll be showing 1 to 2 minutes. Yeah. So
you should come more often.
So at 1 minute, I'll be showing a green signal. And at 1.5, it will be yellow. And on 2, it will be red. And for evaluation, it is 2 to 3 minutes. And evaluation, I'll be showing green at 2, yellow at 2.5, and red at 3. So what are you, Toastmaster?
You've forgotten the name as well.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ghulam Kadir. Honestly, good to see you. Okay, our next role is the R counter, and for R counter we have Toastmaster Muzammil. He will be here, but let me explain you what our counter role is all about. Fellow Toastmasters, during our conversation we use filler words and meaningless pauses, and sometimes meaningless long pauses. Filler words like during conversation we just forgot to say something, then we need to continue like and we sometimes we use repetitive words, so non-connective ands, the. Those words are called filler words, and they are not the part of communication. So the R counter is responsible to note down all those filler words and make us what? Make us feel
good.
Yes, extremely good. And he will present that speech as he will present his report and announce the name of the speaker and the number of R's and ums used by that speaker. Moving on to our next role player. Okay, so all the role players are done. PTMs is he coming? No. Okay.
I will be the vote counter.
So for vote counter, let me call DTM Talha to introduce the vote.
Thank you so much. You will be asked to vote at 5 different occasions during the meeting: for best speaker, for best evaluator, for best big four, for best facilitator, and finally for best table topic speaker. The polls will be floated through Google Forms. As a vote counter, I will not be eligible for voting since I'm a vote counter, but I'll be able to break a tie if there is a tie. So everyone, please promptly vote every time you see the link. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Talha, for explaining your role. Now it's time to enlighten our mood. For that, we have a joke master. And let me call Toastmaster Hiba Raisfan to tell us jokes. The virtual stage is all yours.
Okay. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, what do you call a dinosaurus with an extensive vocabulary?
Thesaurus.
Yes. What should you do when you witness a crime in the forest? What should you do when you witness a crime in the forest?
Shout.
Report it to the leaf of the police. What did the calculator say to the math student? What did the calculator say to the math student? You can count on me. Okay. What did the beach say when the tide came in? What did the beach say when the tide came in? A long time, no see.
Yes.
Over to you, Toastmaster of the day. Evening.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Hiba, for your wonderful and amazing jokes. It's time for me to start. Let's start the first segment, that is the prepared speech segment. Before that, the theme of today's meeting is about a tale of 1031 nights. So it's a fairy tale. We have 5 amazing speakers, or you can say storytellers. So our first speaker will be 6.
Learn to count. Get the calculator from Hiba.
We have 6 amazing storytellers with us who are going to mesmerize us with their speeches. Our first speaker will be Toastmaster SNB, right?
Yeah.
And since we have the timer, so can we go with this?
Sorry.
Since now we have the timer.
Yeah. So yeah, we can follow the order and yeah. So
okay.
Yeah.
So our first speaker is Toastmaster Alvin Faraz. To evaluate him, we have distinguished Toastmaster Sarfaraz Nazir. So I request DTM Sarfaraz Nazir to please read down the objectives of the speech and introduce the speaker. The virtual stage is all yours.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster Imran. It is my honor to introduce the objectives of Toastmaster Alvin Faraz's speech. The purpose of the project that he's working on is to practice supplying feedback and serve as a speech evaluator during a club meeting. And the purpose of this speech is for Toastmaster Alvin Faraz to present a speech and receive feedback from the evaluator. The title of his speech is 1001 Nights. 1001 Nights, Toastmaster Alvin Faraz.
Thank you for this wonderful introduction, sir. But I fail to understand why consecutively I'm the first person who has to start it all the time.
It's your punishment since you wanted to, you informed us to join us physically, but you're not here. So if in next
this
meeting,
happens to every new member. This happens to every new member.
Look at my camera, it's playing some tricks on me.
You made a speech, Mariam.
In the speech
Many, once upon a time.
Once upon a time, yeah.
2000 BC.
Okay. Okay,
All right.
Toastmaster Hela, could you please check your WhatsApp? Yes, you're typing.
Yeah. So
do you want to even see me like this? I'm all green. I promise I'm not an alien, but still look at me.
Maybe this could be the part of your speech.
Well,
yeah, probably, yes.
All
right.
Yes, you remind us of the Incredible Hulk. Don't worry.
All right.
You know how to change the virtual background? No, okay, I'll do that.
Okay. You okay. You do that. Okay. I will do that.
Toastmaster Alvin, if you're not comfortable, then we can move to the next speaker.
No, he is comfortable.
His camera is not working.
No, it will continue to not work.
All right, fine. I'm okay with that. As long as DTM Tala is on my side, we can win the world together.
Just a minute, just a minute. So, Toastmaster Alvin, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Toastmaster Alvin, the stage is all yours.
All right. Thank you so much for this wonderful introduction. Let's start. So, I come from a land, from a faraway place where the caravan camels roam, where it's flat and intense and the heat is immense. It's barbaric, but hey, it's home. Where the winds from the east and the suns from the west and the sand and the glass is right. Come on down, hop on by, hop a carpet and fly to another Arabian Nights. Arabian Nights like Arabian days, more often than not, hotter than hot in a lot of good ways. Arabian Nights, neath the Arabian moons, a fool of his God can fall and fall hard out there on the dunes. Salam and good evening to all of you, my dear friends. 1,000 salams to the President, the distinguished Toastmaster, my dear evaluators, fellow speakers, honored guests. Welcome to the Toastmaster Club. Welcome to Karachi Toastmaster Club, the axiomatically the best club of the world, where you have enchanting stories and all the wonders of the world together, where you can see everyone through your magic portals, which means the laptops in the modern language. I have so many amazing things for you. For instance, this here is the magic portion that DTM Talha used when he was going on his first date with Michelle Obama. Unfortunately, it did not work. The thing is, I see that you are all people of exquisite taste and you want something magical. And I have something magical for you indeed. Here is the amazing book that once changed the life of so many people. A young girl, a sad king, an entire kingdom. Perhaps you'd like to hear the tale? It begins on a sad day when King Shahryar was going back to his place, riding his horse as fast as he could. But when he got back, he saw the horrific scene where his wife was in bed with one of his servants. Heartbroken, he slew them both. He was so devastated with his wife's infidelity that he proclaimed that the woman could never be trusted. And for the next couple of years, he would marry a new woman every single day and kill her the next morning. The kingdom was in shock. This was indeed a tough time for the king, for the kingdom and everyone in it. Hundreds of women were brutally murdered. The vizier was in specific danger and he was worried because he could not find any more women for the king to marry. It was his duty to find a bride for the king, and if he failed to perform any of his duties, it would mean for the wazir. So one day as he was sitting gloomy and sad, his daughter came, Scheherazade, the heroine of our story. She volunteered to marry the king to save her father. He was shocked and tried to convince her that, change her mind. As he could not see that she being killed. But at the same time, he could not fail to perform the duties as the king's wazir. He was stuck between the devil and the deep blue sea. But she was not only pretty, she was courageous, she was crafty, she had other plans. She made a plan to end this misery once and for all. She volunteered to marry the king and at the same time decided to change his mind. She had a secret weapon in her hand, the storybook that I just showed you. So, as they got married on the night of their union, Scheherazade started telling the king and everyone who was there a story. This was her last wish. She wanted the king to grant her the last wish, and she wanted to tell the king a story that he would never forget. The king and all the members of her audience were captivated, and when the sun rose, she withheld the ending of the story and promised that she would continue the story the next night, if only the king allowed. The king was ultimately a human, mad, but ultimately a human. Eager to hear the rest of the story, he allowed that. So the following night, as she was about to end the story, she was very smart and started another story right then and there. A story within a story, my friends. And this continued for a couple of years. This actually continued for 1001 nights. When she finished telling the stories, she had birthed 3 children with her husband. The king's madness was finally over as she was convincing him to change his mind, to change his mindset altogether. She was counseling him. Now, the question is simple. Why in the name of God, Alvin is talking about this story? It's simple. I am Shahrazad in disguise, of course, with a new body. And, you know, King Shahryar is also here with us. He has taken a new form. He is none other than my evaluator. And he can kill me anytime if I fail to tell him a compelling story. So I am really afraid of this fate, but my trust in God is far greater than the fear of my evaluator's axe. And I know that he above will bless me with many more stories, and I will continue to delay my unceremonious decapitation in the kingdom of Karachi Toastmasters Club. And I will live happily and ever after. Thank you so much. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day. Can't hear you.
Apologies. Yeah, now.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Alvin, for saving the shares out for one more day. So let me call the next storyteller, who will definitely come up with a wonderful story and put the king on an excitement mode so that Shahrazad can survive for a few more days. So let me call Toastmaster Ahsan Ali to evaluate Toastmaster Ahsan Ali. Let me call his evaluator.
It's me, Mariam.
And his evaluator is Toastmaster Mariam Aftab. So Toastmaster Mariam Aftab, please explain the objectives of the speech.
Thank you so much. So today I'll be evaluating Toastmasters Ahsan Ali's speech. He will be presenting his speech from Pathway Presentation Mastery Level 1 Project 2. Purpose of his speech is to learn or review basic methods of writing a speech with a purpose, and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. Title of his speech is Solutions, and time for his speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, and I would like all of you to welcome Toastmaster Ahsan Ali.
Stage is all yours.
Have you ever heard about a saying, where there is a will, there is a way, and where there is a shoe, there is a solution? Hello, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I am from Hyderabad. I came to Karachi for my higher education, leaving my parents behind. I came over here alone. I faced so many issues over here at the start, such as how to cook for myself, how to wash my clothes, and like how to survive over here, as I was totally alone over here. Sometimes I felt like that to run back to Hyderabad. But as they say, if you run from the issues, if you if you run from the issues, they will come back to you more harder. The first and the foremost issue which I faced over here in Karachi was how to wake myself up. I was a night owl. It was a uphill task for me to wake myself up alone. Trr, 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 the alarm rang. I kept on pressing the off button, and it was 10 a.m. I was late. I was so worried about this issue. I was so worried about this issue that I searched on the internet how to wake myself up early in the morning. I came with a solution. I came up with a solution to take the alarm clock and place it far away from oneself. I did the same thing. And when the alarm rang in the morning, I started to dance in the dream. I danced for almost 1 minute. And when I woke up, it was afternoon. I was worried. I was worried like, what to do now. And then I thought and came up with a solution. I used 2 alarm clocks, one near to me and one far away from me. Both rang in the morning, and I woke up successfully. Yes. Barbecue, pizza, pastas, kadai, biryani. I used to enjoy all these things, all these food items at my home without any effort. But when I came to Karachi, I needed healthy food. I took a step forward and searched on YouTube how to fry an egg. I took a fry pan, put some oil on it, and put an egg on it on a very high flame. I thought that I will cook it more quickly. After a few minutes, it started to smell bad. And when I flipped the egg, all I could see was darkness under it. I was so worried at that time. I was a horrible cook. I went back to the same video. And started to focus on that. I cooked the egg successfully, from egg to rice to now I can cook anything. I can cook anything. Toastmasters, I can cook anything. And Toastmasters, it was a cold night. It was a cold night in Karachi. I went to ATM machine. I put the card inside, tick, it went inside. I heard that someone was knocking outside. I took all the money, put in my pocket, and went outside. When I opened the door, all I could see was darkness. I was so shocked. I was frightened. I started to shiver. 2 men were holding gun at me. They said to me, took out all your money. To take all the money. I gave them all the money. And one of them pointed gun towards my ATM card like this and said to me, all the money. I then gave him all my money and I was empty. I was so shocked. I was in a state of shock. I sat over there for almost 30 minutes. And when I went back to home, I found a solution. And now I use 2 ATM cards. One is full of the money and one filled with the half chunk of money. I use the ATM which is not fully filled to actually get away from the risk. Fellow Toastmasters, if you are facing an issue and issue punches you, in case if you fell down on the floor, just stand up and smash it hard with the solution like I did in all the cases. I started to cook. The source was YouTube. I started to wake myself up. The source was 2 alarm clocks. I got away from a big risk. The source were 2 ATM cards. You can also do all these things to avoid any issue in your life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster SNRE. What a wonderful speech. Where there is a problem, there is a solution. So now we are moving towards the next storyteller, and he is DTM Raghunath. DTM Raghu will be evaluated by Toastmaster Muzammil Sheikh, and I request his evaluator to please read down the objectives and introduce the speaker.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. It's time to move on and introduce our next speaker, our third speaker. So our next speaker is TTM Raghunatha Raju. TTM Raghunatha Raju is doing his Pathway Presentation Mastery Level 3 elective. Project is Connect with Storytelling. His purpose of the project is for the member to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is a story. So please welcome DTM Raghunatha Raju. It's not my problem, DTM Raghu.
Old MacDonald had a farm. E-I-E-I-O. Raise your hand if you remember this rhyme from your child. I'm sure everyone does it at least. Just like the old MacDonald in this rhyme, there used to be a old farmer living in the outskirts of a town in the United States. He had a very beautiful wife, and he had a small farm and few animals in his farm. They used to live peacefully. The life was just moving on. But as they say, life and the pests find their own way. One fine day, a rat came, started living in the house, made a hole in the kitchen. He used to wait for the crumbles of bread, the crumbles of food that used to fall down, munch them for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and live on them. Always waited for something new to come, fell down so that it can munch and enjoy its meal. One fine day, it came out of the hole, stretched its body. Morning again, something new to explore, it thought. Look at the package in the hands of farmer's wife. Wow, it must be something new. I should wait. What's to come out of it? Well, the package was unwrapped. It was a trap. What trap? Trap, trap. Started shouting, moving around. And then it felt comfort. And its friend, hen, you know something? The trap now, the trap. Go. What matters to me is you who will get trapped, not a hen. One, not my problem. It's your problem. It's not my problem. It's not your problem. It's my problem. And I thought you were my family, my friend. I still have my friend Pig. It thought and went, Pig, there's something. There's a trap in the house. A trap, a mouse trap. Oh my God. I pity you. I sympathize with you, my dear rat. But you know something? A pig doesn't fit in the trap. It's you. It's your problem. May Almighty bless you. May God bless you and get out of this problem. For now, it's not my problem. I still love my friend Cow. It turned ran to Cow. Cow, you know something? There's a trap in the house. A trap. A mouse trap. Mouse trap. Boo! A trap. A mouse trap. Not a cow trap. Get lost. It's your problem, not something I will deal. It felt aloof, left alone, prepared for everything at this point, as if it lost every friend, family. Looked at everyone before going into the hole that night, waiting for that moment. That night came as on top. The farmer's wife ran, thinking it was the mouse which was caught in the trap. Little did she know, it was the snake's tail that was caught. It bit her, and she has to be rushed to the hospital. After 2 days, the farmer's wife returned with high fever and sick. And my dear friends, what do they treat fever with? Of course, chicken soup. The chicken was butchered. The soup was served. And our friend Rat kept watching. Yes, it's not my problem. That's what you said, my dear friend. After a few days, people started pouring in, wanted to see the farmer's wife. And they had to be fed. Our friend Pig was slaughtered. And people were served. Rat kept watching. After a few days, the farmer's wife died. And in the funeral, the cow was slaughtered and everybody was served. The rat kept watching. How many times in your life did someone say, it's your problem, not my problem? You said this statement, it's your problem, not my problem. Or somebody, just like the pig said, I will pray for you. I sympathize with you, empathize with you. Well, that's what happens every walk of life. Think of this. In 2019, November, we said it was Italy's, rather China's problem. Then it became Italy's problem. 2020, it becomes every country's problem, pandemic. Now, people started saying it's Ukraine's problem, Russia's problem, not our problem. The spark that caught the fire on your neighbor's house will not take longer, my dear friends, to burn your house into ashes. Think of it before saying it's your problem. Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Remember that every religion says we are part of one family under one sky. Start saying it's our problem and stop saying it's your problem. Suddenly it's axiomatic that we are all belong to one family under one Almighty. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Raghu, for your wonderful and quite amazing speech. Now we are moving towards our next speaker. I'm sure Toastmaster Sinal is not in the meeting, right?
Yeah.
DTM Imran, you're upside down.
I don't know what happened. It's not his fault, actually. I don't know what on earth has happened. Just let me try to correct it. Oh, yeah. Now.
He developed the powers of a vampire.
Yeah.
Okay, now we are moving towards our next speaker. Our next speaker is DTM Talha bin Habib, and he will be evaluated by Toastmaster Hina Ali. So I request Toastmaster Hina to please read down the objectives of the speech. The virtual stage is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. Just give me one moment. Today, DTM Talha is presenting his project 1 from level 3 of the innovative planning pathway, present a proposal. The title of his speech is a real mouthful. So let me just announce it. Bringing about a paradigm shift in the quality of life offered at office by proposing to synergistically align staff needs and available resources through an actively monitored and optimized system. The objectives of this project, the purpose of this project is for him to practice developing and presenting a proposal. He has to deliver a well-organized speech about his or her proposal. The proposal may affect an area of his personal or professional life, or even the Toastmasters Club. He may present the entire proposal or an aspect of it. The speech may be humorous, informational, or of any style, but the style should fit the content that he's presenting. The speech is not a report on the content of present a proposal project. Timer, please note the time is 5 to 7 minutes. Please welcome the president of our club, our district, our immediate past district director, a DTM many times over, an excellent journalist, and an amazing storyteller. We look forward to his speech. Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid.
Okay. Am I visible? Am I visible and audible?
Yes.
You are visible and audible.
Loud and clear.
All right. Thank you. So before I start my speech, imagine that you are all my bosses and I'm presenting this proposal to all of you. Hello, sir. Good morning. Do you know something strange happens every day in your office? Someone feels something. They get up from their desk, make their way out of their office, into the lounge, into the corridor, expecting something to happen. And yet, when they come across a door and that door is closed, they hang their heads in shame and disappointment and return to their seats, dejected, disappointed, demotivated, and distraught. Can you afford this kind of disappointment and demotivation perpetuated in your office? If not, let me present to you my magnum opus. It is my new proposal, Critical Room Availability Positioning System, or CRAPS. Now, what is CRAPS? It is something that has never been tried before. What will happen is, it will work through two components. There will be a light of availability outside the room that is needed, and there will be an app that will be monitoring the status of that room. And every employee will be knowing when that room is available and when it is not. And this is just the start. Whenever a user will feel the need to visit the room, they will put it their expected time of visit and duration. The app will then match the requirement with the available slots, just like we do in KTC Agenda. And then the app will assign the closest slot to the user and update both your schedule and the user's schedule. And finally, when the user actually makes the visit and they're done, they press done on the app and their activity is logged. There are so many use cases, but two immediately spring to mind. The first is the restroom, and the second is your room. Why? Because both rooms share so much in common. Both rooms are visited upon anxiously by dozens of people every day, and several have to return disappointed, and a lot of fecal matter is exchanged in both the rooms. Isn't that enough commonality? Now, you must be asking yourself, how will we ensure that the correct people access the service? It's a 3-tier security control plan. Every time the user will enter the room, they will have a retina scan. And if they're not the correct user as per the slot, the door will shut in their face. Don't you enjoy that, Mr. CEO? The second will be a unique barcode generated by the app. The user will have to scan your door or maybe the restroom's door, and only then they will be granted access, and the slots and the relevant facilities will start to function. And finally, there will be a stopwatch in the app. That stopwatch will compare the actual time spent by the user versus the time originally put in. So if someone takes an appointment with you for 10 minutes and their 9 minutes are up, the app will alert them, just like they do in Toastmasters, that your time is about to be over. Now, the users will be subject to a host of users controls, and from now on, we'll call them crappers. They will be alerted a few minutes before so that they can line up outside the door. The user's phone will issue an alert once the room is available and or their slot has arrived. Thirdly, an open unoccupied slot will be awarded on first click, first serve basis. And fourthly, after completion of book duration, the door of the occupied room will open automatically. Oh my God. And an alarm will sound, alerting. Sure. The next wrapper. Now, what will be the benefits of this one-of-a-kind initiatives? Increased motivation amongst employees. Fear, uncertainty, and doubts taken out of visits to your room. More efficient utilization of time. Users can better plan their day and secure and track entry and exit into your office and other high sensitivity spots. It doesn't end there. Once we start gathering the data, imagine what this app can do. The app using AI will track each user's habits and prepare schedules for them according to their movements and visits to your room. This will enable predictive blocking of slots. This will also spare the hassle of users walking up to either room and finding them occupied. And finally, the app will combine users' data. They will monitor their habits. They will monitor how much time they spend on the seat and how much time outside the restroom, your room, and how much time inside your room. Further, they will analyze whatever material is generated to monitor the health of the users. So this will tie directly into their performance management and insurance. So boss, isn't that an amazing plan? If you implement this, We will create a revolution. Just one condition though. Please keep me out of the tracking. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid, for your such a wonderful proposal. Now we are moving towards the next contestant, and once again, he's a distinguished Toastmaster. And let me call his evaluator, Toastmaster Anand Kadri. Could we have Toastmaster Anand Kadri on stage? Virtual stage?
Just give me a second. Let me check. I think I needed to alert her, but I was too busy with the grabs proposal. Give me a few seconds.
If I'm correct, or more than a year. DTM Sarfraz, when did you started your pathways journey?
I gave my first speech icebreaker for my first pathway on Thursday, June 7th last year at a club in District 25 in Fort Worth, Texas.
Great. So no one has completed 11 pathways in just a short period, in just 1 year.
77 weeks.
Awesome.
Wow.
Great.
Wow.
11 pathways, so you have completed all the pathways. What next?
Repeat all the pathways now.
You should compile all your speeches and write a book.
Yes, Toastmaster and Round Runner, you'll have the book when I see you next time.
Okay, how's your experience? Means, what are your feelings after completing all the 11 pathways?
I'm about to express my feelings in a few minutes once the evaluator introduces my objectives. It is a reflection. I've heard many Toastmasters give their speeches on reflect your pathway at the end of their path. And many times it's more of a mentoring speech, which is level 2 speech, understanding mentoring and Toastmasters, because they thank everybody that has helped them. But I think the purpose of reflect on your path is how you have grown as a person or a speaker.
Okay, so now I can see Toastmaster Anand Kadri on virtual stage. Toastmaster Anand, please read down the objectives of the speech, and the virtual stage is all yours.
Thank you so much. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today, I've got the privilege to evaluate DTM Sarfaraz. And I wonder every time when he gives his reflective speech, usually I am the evaluator, because the second time I am the evaluator of a different pathway, yet the same project. So, okay, so his project is Reflecting Your Path. His topic is Blessed Beyond Belief. The purpose of this project is for the member to reflect on his growth during the completion of an entire path. His time limit is 10 to 12 minutes. DTM Sarfaraz, I think it's his final pathway, 11th and final pathway that he is reflecting on right now. I think the first Toastmaster to do this, as far as my knowledge is concerned. Best of luck to you. blessed beyond belief, DTM Sarfaraz. DTM Sarfaraz, blessed beyond belief. Over to you.
Toastmaster Anam Qadri, Toastmaster Imran Rana, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. The deed is done, the die is cast, the Rubicon is crossed. It is my honor to share with you my growth through the Pathways program. It is axiomatic that I have grown as a speaker and as a human being. Let me tell you where my journey began and where it has taken me. About 20 years ago, I walked into the meeting of Karachi Toastmasters at Awari Hotel near Sadr, Karachi. Since I was the only DTM at the time in that meeting, I was asked to respond to a table topics. I cannot say question because it was not a question, it was simply one word, rose, R-O-S-E. When the table topics master said rose and then said, would our guests like to respond? As a Toastmaster and as a distinguished Toastmaster, I could not say no. I gave a speech on rose in which I talked about the first red rose that I gave to my mother on Eid Day. It took me almost 20 years to return to Karachi Toastmasters on September 27th of last year. When I joined the online meeting, I was once again asked to respond to a table topics question. This time, it was on the topic of receiving a gift. And I talked about the tasbih that my mother bought for me from a shop behind Empress Market. But this time, after I gave that table topics, I returned. And then a few weeks later, on 27th October, I gave my first speech at Karachi Toastmasters Club. Leap of faith. And then the gates opened. The river started flowing. With the exception of a few weeks, I have been giving a speech every week at Karachi Toastmasters. I think it's more than 60 speeches until now. Now, what have I learned or how have I grown by giving these speeches? I was giving speeches long before Toastmasters International introduced Pathways. But the difference is, this time by giving a speech almost every week, sometimes 4 speeches at 4 different clubs in different districts during a week. And on a certain day, 3 speeches. One in the morning at one club, second at 6 o'clock in the evening, and third speech at 7:30 in the evening. What I have learned about myself, that I now have the ability to prepare the speeches in a short time. It doesn't take me weeks and weeks to think of an idea and then come up with a good speech. And the speeches are not only general speeches, but they are my life experience. I have lived my life through these speeches. And because I've shared these speeches with you, I have taken you, the audience, along with me on my life journey. You have learned about the time I was bitten by a poisonous snake in the village where I was born in Punjab. I talked to you about the time I missed a boat, but I never gave up. And a time when I took a BB gun from a friend and shot the light bulb on the street. I talked to you about the things that I've done as a child that I'm now looking back and saying to myself, hey, I'm ashamed. Also talk to you that how bad I wanted to win the race at the school's sports day. But a boy, I don't know why, he held me back while I was trying to jump on the table. And not only he lost the race, he made me come in third instead of first, and I went home without a trophy. Then I talked to you about the leap of faith, leaving Karachi airport for the first time and arriving in America. And I've talked to you how I learned to cook, never having cooked before, how I learned to dance, my experience as a door-to-door salesman, the death of a salesman. So, fellow Toastmasters, I was living my life through my speeches, and I was self-disclosing, talking to you about my life journey. And I've realized not only I can give speeches, since they are my experiences, it doesn't take me that long to prepare. But I also learned that since they are my stories, they are experiences that I've lived through. I don't have to memorize them. I just have to share the story with you. And I also learned that when red light comes, how to end. Most of the time I succeed is to wrap up what I'm talking about and then go to my conclusion. That's how I've grown. But beyond that, I realized how much I've grown, especially by giving speeches week after week at KTC. On November 5th, 3 weeks ago, at the District 50 conference, there were 3 keynote speakers. The breakfast keynote speaker had PowerPoint slides, and they went with his presentation. But the problem was there were 2 screens on both sides of the large conference room. And he kept on using the pointer, pointing at the screen. But the slide would not change. And the reason is, behind the speaker was a curtain. And behind the curtain was the audio masters. And he had the laptop. And that's where the pointer had to be pointed towards. So you can't point to the screen. So it distracted from the speech. And then after a while, since he failed to change the slides, he said, okay, I'll just tell you next and you change it. The night speaker is an accredited speaker. She goes around the world to give speeches. She gave on leadership, and she also had PowerPoint slides, and she had the same problem. She had to press the pointer 3 or 4 times towards the slide to change it, and she used it as a crutch. I was told that there's a monitor in front of the stage, and if I'm using slides, the slide will show up, and that's what the 2 speakers did. Every now and then they would look at it, and the last speaker was yours truly. I had no slides, no PowerPoint, no crutch, because I used about 10 personal stories within my keynote. And I was able to deliver without using any prop or having to look at the slides on the left or the right. But not only I was able to give that speech, my keynote included some of the stories from different speeches that I had given at Karachi Toastmasters, including the ones I gave at a keynote when I was the speaker in person at a joint meeting with Express Toastmasters. I took some of the best parts from different speeches and put them together as a 20-minute keynote. So that's how I've grown, that I now have the confidence to take my best material, my best life stories, and share with them the audience. But if you ask someone who walks into Toastmasters, why are you here? What do you want? No one ever says, I'm lonely. I'm a lost cause. I'm here looking for friends. No, everyone says that I'm here because I want to improve my communication skills. I want to stand before an audience and speak. That's why people join Toastmasters. But after they stay a while, you ask them again, why have you stayed? No one, I have never heard anyone say, I am staying because I want to continue to improve my speaking skills. No, when you ask them, why have you stayed? They tell you that I have stayed because of friends and friendships that I've formed. And that's what have happened to me while I've given speech week after week. What has kept me going is not the speeches, it's the friendships that I've formed. I left Karachi, and when I returned for a visit to Karachi, I see some of my childhood friends I grew up. But since I have been living away from Karachi so long, I've not had any new friends. But now that's not true. Two Toastmasters came to my house, the house that my father built and the home that my mother created. And I sat in that living room where I have sat with my parents. What a feeling it was that I had two new friends, and I sat there and shared with them my stories. Then there was a Toastmaster who came to my house, picked me up, and took me to the meeting. And I had the honor of sharing my story with him and listening to his story. The bond that the two of us formed, that will never be broken. A day may come when I may not be able to say a few words, but the memories of these friendships that are formed. When I went to Dreamland, some of my fellow Toastmasters at KTC found out that besides giving speeches, I can even bowl. Fellow Toastmasters, there are people in Texas. I have worked with them more than 10 years. They don't know anything about me. They don't know where I was born, what happened in my life. But you, fellow Toastmasters at Karachi Toastmasters, you are part of my life. I have shared my life with you. And the friendships that I've formed throughout Karachi, Lahore, Faisalabad, Islamabad, Quetta, Dubai, Madagascar, Kuwait will always stay with me. I have grown as a speaker and as a human being. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
You are muted, DM Imran.
Apologies. Please come again.
Thank you so much, DTM Sarfaraz. Let me tell you one thing, that Karachi Toastmasters Club is honored to have you. We are so proud of you that you are the first member from District 122 and especially from our club, Karachi Toastmasters Club, who has completed all the 11 pathways. So let us give a big round of applause with standing up.
They cannot see us standing. Yeah.
I'm honored. Thank you, KTC.
Please continue your speeches and let us educate us with your precious experience. You are precious. So thank you so much once again, DTM Sarfaraz Nazir. Quite an emotional speech and truly amazing. Now we are moving towards our last speaker. He is a Toastmaster, but a Toastmaster from Quantum Leap. He is Toastmaster Salman Ibrahim and his evaluator is Toastmaster Alvin Faraz. So I request Toastmaster Alvin Faraz to please read down the objectives and introduce the speaker. Toastmaster Alvin, the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much for this. Next up, we have Salman Ibrahim with us. This is going to be his second project from level 1. 3 months ago, he delivered his icebreaker and he won over the audience with his very first speech. And now he's here to do that once again. So please put your hands together for the one and the only Salman Ibrahim, who is also going to tell about the purpose of his speech before he starts.
No, you don't have to. Toastmaster admin will read down the objectives.
No, but purpose of the speech. Writing a speech, the speaker tells the purpose that this is the purpose.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, Toastmaster Salman.
Well, thank you very much. My speech is still going to be something that is in an early stage of learning, a learning process that I expect to be accelerated by listening to people like Toastmasters here that we have honorable people. My speech purpose is to talk about aligning your aligning the productivity gears, aligning basically your life together in a more focused way. I'm sure most of you know the gears of a motor vehicle, or for that purpose, clockworks or a bicycle, for it to be more simple. One pedal motion triggers a smaller gear, which has implications for a bigger gear, and that has sort of a transfer of energy and motion to the next gear, and so on and so forth. Now here, if one of the gears fails to perform its function, which is quite basic in nature, that is transferring the energy that has been applied to it to the next gear, then everything sort of falls apart and the whole system comes to a grinding halt. A life basically works in the same manner. The relevance of this particular example dawned upon me during early stages of my career, when I was working for a company where each and every department function was sequentially linked to the other department. The business processes were interlinked. So during the day, when a department completed its function, prepared the report that it was supposed to prepare, handed over to the next department, and that department used to work on that data that was available to it, and then it basically prepared the report for the next department. So it worked like quite a sequential, quite a reasonable value chain throughout the day, throughout the month, throughout the year. Now, the problem for the final report to be done accurately and on time, it required that each department delivered its report in a timely manner and without any errors, and those errors, if there are any, are sorted out so that the process could be smooth and fluent throughout the whole chain. It may not be perfect, but it was quite reasonably aligned in terms of the gears that were within the organization. But the egos, the urge to catch others' mistakes through using a fine net, that's what can really stop the gears or the system to a halt. Now, due to internal frictions, the final report was mostly delayed by a couple of hours every day. And as a result, people who wanted to sort of go back home on time were left frustrating, and they had to wait for the elephants to finish their fight every day. If not every day, then at least 30, 40 times, like 30 or let's say 60% of the time. This was ridiculous, stupid and juvenile. I thought about the situation and realized that we had to mend that chain by aligning the gears in a way that would allow us to push forward by focusing more on improving our core productivity rather than massaging egos on a daily basis. So on a casual day, I sat down with the juniors from each of the relevant departments and laid out the whole situation in front of them and listened to them as to why each of the day was sort of a deja vu for us, despite us trying our best to get rid of any frictions, any issues that we were facing without anything from our side. We had a very frank and open chat, and that definitely involved me swallowing a lot of my pride, because obviously we were part of a department that was considered as something above the other departments for various reasons, right or wrong, but for various reasons. But the system that we had to fix was a lot bigger than any of us. What mattered to all of us there was to make sure that we work together as a team. We work together as an interlinked system that was focusing more on the product rather than the individual issues that we had, insecurities, personal egos, whatever you may call it. So we agreed on the terms of engagement that mainly involved basically excluding all the senior management and trying to resolve all the issues among ourselves. The most important element of that whole collaboration was a mutual acknowledgement that basically none of us was above making a mistake. Anybody could make a mistake. And while we are trying to defend our mistake, that is only out of a fear where we feel that our mistakes would be weaponized against us. So we discussed, we said, this is going to be an effort that is going to focus on delivering the product, delivering the output, and whatever is going to be an issue at any department's end, we are going to work together to resolve it. It's not a department's mistake. It's not a person's mistake. It's basically our challenge that we have to resolve. We adjusted some gears, obviously, took out some of the teeth, and voila, the system was running smoothly in no time. So much was the process successful that one of the persons on the team that was considered as the most difficult person on the team turned out to be so much cooperative and so much collaborative that I had never imagined would happen. That person still happens to be my friend after a very, very long separation since that job I left. This has basically stuck with me since then. This has told me that I need to focus on ensuring that the most important things in my life is to make sure that we keep our life moving forward. My relationship with the family, friends, work. Even if it means rolling up my sleeve, going down on my knees, and getting my own hands dirty. My life's bicycle doesn't have to be in a competition race. It's all about enjoying the ride. Occasionally, you would be required to blunt some of the teeth in those gears. But once you are sincere and humble, the whole universe basically supports you in your efforts in aligning the gears and pushing you ahead with your loved ones. That's my speech. That's my message. That's the speech with purpose. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Salman, for your wonderful speech. Now it's time for me to ask the timer. Has everyone qualified for voting?
Yes. Two participants for physical
And they both have qualified.
Yes.
Okay.
And virtual have also qualified.
Okay,
I'm floating the
congratulations. So all the six speakers are qualified. Now I request our vote counter to please
Yes.
share the link. And I request everyone to cast your vote for the best speaker. I don't have to repeat the names, right? So this brings to an end to our first session. Now we are moving towards our second segment, that is the table topics segment. A wonderful segment, a very interesting, I must say, and that will put you on your feet to think on your feet. So let me welcome the table topic master.
Yes.
Once again, DTM Raghunath, the stage is all yours.
From the primitive times, the times when he used to sit around the fire, are the times when we are in modern age. In the childhood, when we used to sleep besides our grandparents, stare at the sky, look at those stars. As today, watching the TV, we all are storytellers. We all love stories. Whether it is the story of your first love, whether it is a story of how, I'm not going to narrate that, how you're going to be nagged by your wife or husband. Everyone has their own stories. Today, we are going to use this wonderful theme of storytelling in our table topics. I'm going to experiment. We are going to use improved technique in our table topic. So what I need is 5 people who can come forward for this. 5 people online. Please raise your hand. I'll start with my dear friend, Toastmaster Asghar, Danish. Ask Zoom Master, please spotlight as soon as people raise their hand. Danish, Asghar, and who else?
For them to be spotlighted, we need to have their video on. So
yes, Danish, please keep your video on. This is going to be very interesting, I promise. I am Alvin, my dear friend Alvin. Alvin, please add Alvin to the spotlight. Anybody else from the online, please keep your video on.
why not add someone from physical meeting?
Okay, sure. Please add, please help me with those names.
The fear of the unknown has driven them off.
So, yeah.
Irfan Bhai, do you want to try? Irfan Faruqi, Toastmaster Irfan, our newest acquaintance.
Yes, when you
please give.
If you call, yes, I have to.
Please add him to spotlight.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have 4 members? Let me check.
Yes, you do.
Okay, wonderful. We have 4. Anybody who wants to join from the physical meeting? One more from physical.
Why don't you come and stand with me?
It's an opportunity.
Yeah, come on, come and stand with me.
Come and just stand.
Madam President has just switched on her camera.
Next turn. Next turn. Okay. Abhi ho gaya. No. So we all remember Antakshari, right? So this is the technique that you are going to imply in this storytelling.
Okay.
Now I'll make a statement, or I will make a story out of few lines, and then what happens is one person has to continue the story. I'll name them, they have to continue the story, and whatever they end with, other person has to end at the start. But the context should not change. It should be the continuation to the story till the last person. Does it make sense? Any question you can ask? Any questions from physical meeting and online meeting? Everybody clear? The context should not change. It should not be a different story.
Can you explain it
Explain
again,
to the
sir?
guest.
Yeah. No, he's
I
a member.
will.
Yeah.
I will make 1 or 2 statements. Based upon that, I will call the name and you have to continue. For example, I say Asghar, Muhammad Asghar. So he will continue from there, and then he will start telling the story. It will be about 45 seconds. And then once he finishes, I'll ask Alvin. Then Alvin will pick up the story and then continue. But the context of the story should not change. It
So
should
when
not be a
you-
new story.
All right. When you mean context, can we add new characters to the story? Is
Yeah,
that
it's
allowed?
up to you. But it should be continuation of the story.
Sure, sure.
It's just like a
And what is-
movie banaye, 4 to 5 producers, 4 to 5 directors.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is the time for each speaker?
45
minutes?
seconds to 1 minute. No, 45
Okay.
seconds to 1 minute.
Okay.
Okay. Overall, it will be 1 minute. Timer, please. I mean, 1 minute for each, so it will be 5 minutes. Okay. Thank you. Yesterday, I was so lazy that I slept till 11, just like a polar bear. I didn't want to wake up. I woke up at 11 a.m. It was already late getting to office. So I rushed, taking bath and getting dressed. I missed my morning meals, my morning exercise, just like a lazy raccoon. Askar.
As soon as I reached my office, some of my friends were already doing their breakfast in the office. When I asked them about this unique day, they had the same story as mine. They got up at 11 o'clock. This create a suspension inside my mind. For a moment, I thought that I may not be in my senses, or I'm still sleeping at my bed and just dreaming about this event. But as soon as I heard the voice of my boss, that ugly voice brought me to the conscious that I'm not in my bed. I am inside my office in front of those friends who are also doing their breakfast. Now, I had a dilemma. I didn't want them to know what had happened to me this morning, but at the same time, I wanted to be a part of that breakfast. Over to you.
When the boss called me, it was very surprising to know why he is talking like that. His voice was not very clear. His sound was a little shaky. You know what? I immediately came to know that he himself was very late. The boss also had just arrived in the office. And the way the boss was looking at the breakfast, it was a clear sign that he himself is hungry. But he was very intelligent. He never said it to anybody that he is late. He asked everybody, when did you come? When have you come to the office? And everybody was reluctant to accept that, sorry, boss, just got late. Then boss asked, what are you doing at this moment, all sitting together here in this office? And though there was no need to ask this question, because the breakfast was lying on the table, everybody could see we are eating, we are having breakfast at that time. But the boss was quite angry with us. Not to mention that he told us that, okay, I want to see you in my office. Oh, we were intelligent enough. We said, yes, okay, boss, you can see us in your office. But why don't we invite you
Alvin.
to the table?
Alvin.
So as we were having this discussion, suddenly a buzzer sounded and everything, I could hear a panic. And my boss and I, we looked out the window and everyone was running here and there. And ultimately, my worst fear came true. It was a zombie apocalypse and everyone was running for their lives and we had to run. We had to save our lives. My boss, I found a perfect solution to kill my boss right then and there. I could simply say that he was killed by a zombie and I could run away with that. So I decided to put that devilish thought behind, and it was axiomatic that we have to help each other, because if we do that, only then we will be able to survive. The first concern was to get some food, some rationing. So my boss put his hand in his drawer. He took out his gun. He opened up his cupboard and gave me an AK-47. We both ran down out of the window, trying to protect our members of the office, and we had to barricade everything. Found a car, went to the Imtiaz, which was the best nearest store close to us.
It goes to the physical meeting. So I don't have the name, but you can go.
Ghulam Qadir.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
So as soon as we reached Imtiaz, we saw a large box full of masks and a gas cylinder. We just found a gas cylinder. So my boss and myself just carried that gas cylinder and we sprayed it on the zombies. And all the zombies started turning into humans. Now, my boss realized that he is missing out on something. And you know what he was missing out? On the breakfast thing. He quickly recalled that we were having breakfast and we did not invite the boss. And he turned towards me and said, "You did not invite me over the breakfast, and you guys were having breakfast all alone. This is not acceptable. This is just December. November 30th is today, and tomorrow is December starting, and your appraisal time is there. So you know what? I'm going to rate you." And I was, okay, boss, let's do a deal over here, right in front of Imtiaz. I'll take you to some sort of a place like Boat Basin, and I'll give you a feast today. So deal was done that particular time, and I drove him to Boat Basin, and we had cheese paratha, chicken cheese paratha with what you can call it as a doodh patti tea.
To the next person.
Mixed with all the milk. Yeah, the next one.
Well, when I am with my boss and I feel so hesitate with his company, because he is the very elder in my the age factor is the age gap was very large. So
what did you do after the breakfast? You had breakfast with boss, so
yeah, just after having breakfast with the boss, just to leave as soon as possible his company, so it's good for me. Then stay away from the bosses. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Juma, second, please remove everybody. We'll go to the gallery mode, and then we have Bilaluddin, Imran, Rana, and Hina, and Mariam Aftab. Please add them to the spotlight. But
just a second.
Everybody has to keep their video on. That's the condition.
Yes. So I'm adding. Imran is already here. Bilal and Mariam, right?
Yeah, Mariam, please keep your video on.
I cannot, if I'll open my video, then my audio would be disrupted. So that's the issue.
Okay.
Okay.
But you can do it. Yeah. Okay. Who else?
Anybody.
Well, why not our guests? For example, we have Ansha. Why not Ansha? Why not
Ansha?
Yeah.
Zarmeen, do we have Zarmeen here? Zarmeen, are you there?
Yeah, we have Jermaine. Jermaine, do you want to try?
Yes, you can add Salman Ibrahim too. He just opened his video.
Okay.
Yeah, please add.
Wait. Yeah, Zarmeen is here. Zarmeen is here. So we are adding Salman.
Salman.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah, there he is.
No,
Oh,
please,
Salman, please keep your video on.
It's okay. We are not going to punish you in this event. We are just having fun here, Salman. Don't worry. So somebody forgot to add our Madam Hina Ali. Can you add
Just
her
give me a
too,
second.
please?
Let me add both. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there they are. I think you're
Just wait,
Wonderful.
is I'm audible and visible both? Is it clear now? I've changed the
Wait.
device actually.
Just give me a second.
You're audible and visible both. Can you please add Mariam? So
Next time, remind me to never ever be the Zoom master.
especially when you have the table topic master.
Yeah, especially with you as table topic master. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I hope. Yeah, you're perfectly audible and visible.
Okay. Now we'll follow the same sequence, but it will be only 30 seconds. The timer has to be on toes, and you all have to be on toes. Only
Remind
30
me never to
seconds.
be the timer again. Yeah. All right. All right. Go ahead.
Once upon a time, there was a king. He had a beautiful queen. One day, while cleaning her tongue with palm leaves, she cut her tongue and started bleeding. Soon, it was the news that queen was spitting palm leaves from her mouth. Mariam.
He was surprised. He was angry. He was anxious. He was all in emotions. What to do, how to do. He was running here and there for the help. He could not find anyone. He went out. He was shouting, and then he saw a monkey. He saw a monkey and he was surprised. And he said, "Can you help me? Look at me, look at me, look at me." The monkey said, "What? What?" He said, "What? What?" Monkey, "Wow." And he said, "Come with me." He was surprised to hear that from a monkey.
Hina.
So the monkey took the king along to his kingdom, where the king was a giant orangutan. Does anybody remember from the Jungle Book?
Yeah.
And the orangutan laughed. So, king, now you are in trouble and you need help, our help, the help of the apes. You are here now in the planet of apes. Tell me, how shall I help you? Oh, orangutan king, oh, king of apes, please help me.
Imran.
Okay, so when that orangutan, or we call it monkey, gave him a suggestion. Come on, that queen was too old for you. Let's go. There's a fashion show going on, and there are supermodels there. And you know what? Ayana Ali was there. Let's go. So the monkey and the king went to that fashion show, and the king announced, whoever wins this fashion show contest will be my queen. Then what happened? You know what? Ayana Ali again won the show, and she became the queen of hearts, queen of that king. So one day, Ayana Ali and King
Bilal.
Just round about that.
All right. Then the king takes the newly queen to his castle and introduce her with everything inside of his castle, and met her with her old queen, and she saw her situation, and she screamed, "What happened to her?" And she said, "Nothing. I just saw her, and he naturally came out of her." And then the queen touch her hand, and she starts having the same situation that the old queen has. And he went to the wrong key, and he says, "What's happening? It's happening all over again." Then he said, "Okay, there has to be some problem with you." Then takes the queen again to the orangutan, the giant orangutan that was the king of the planet of apes. And he says to the king, "All right, you have did something in the past.
Then the king came back through the whole process with another queen. He brought her back to the kingdom. And when that queen, the new queen, saw the two queens, she touched those to heal them. And yet she felt the same kind of a problem. She went through the same ordeal that the other ones had gone through. And then the guy felt really frustrated, annoyed, went back to the orangutan, and he said, "Well, let's do one thing. Instead of letting you decide on the fashion show, let's keep you here and let those queens enjoy and come back to normal life rather than sending more and more queens to the wasteland that you have developed in your kingdom." Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Of course, one wife is a problem. Two wives, he suddenly run towards the orangutan to get rid of them. Thank you very much. Now we'll try a different technique. Now this is going to be a different one, not storytelling. Can I have at least 4 to 5 people more? Fatafat.
And this time we should try and encourage the people who have not taken the part in it.
Call Zarmeen. Call Zarmeen. I think Zarmeen is there. Zarmeen, are you there?
Zarmeen.
Yes.
Zarmeen, okay. Can we have your video on?
You can call Kumar.
Not right now. Like I have to share.
Boy, you should also participate in this one.
Yeah, TM Kumar. Thank you very much for keeping a video on. DTM Kumar. DTM Kumar. And anybody from physical room?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, DTM Kumar, we can hear you. Just wait. Okay. Anybody from physical room who didn't take any role or guest?
Muzammil is coming.
Please remove that green card, green background, and send them here. Okay, Muzammil, thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Now just three of us here. Now, 3 are ready. Okay, this is the technique that we use. You all remember Antakshari kind of game that we played. Okay, Ansha Hussain, thank you very much. Ansha, do you want to continue? Ansha? Okay. This is more like I will make a statement. I'll make a statement, and the last word is something that other person will pick up and make a sentence of. And other person should. So I will make a statement. It will go to Hina, then it will go to Mujamil, then it will come to DTM Kumar, then to Hina, then to Mujamil, then to Kumar. So it will continue until one person fails to do that. Okay, so it is the timing is just 1 to 2 minutes, and it has to be very fast on this. 1 to 2 minutes only, and it will continue as a statement. Just a statement, please. Just a statement. No lectures here. Sun rises in.
What's the timing?
It is 1 to 2 minutes overall. DTM Kumar. So you make
you
are going to make it
one sentence. Yeah.
Use the word. My last word will be your first.
Oh.
Let us say, for example, I say sun rises in the east. East is the one that all people look down, but east is where sun rises. Okay.
Am I part of this?
You're part of 3 people. Mujamil, Hina, and DTM Kumar. I'll make a statement. It will.
I think Zarmeena is also there.
Yes.
Yeah, Zarmeen is there.
Yamin, are you there? You can be part of this. I don't have to.
There seems to be a lot of audio issues. Jermaine.
Can you hear me any better now?
It's better now. So I will make a statement. Hina will pick up. From Hina, it will go to Mujamil. From Mujamil to Jermaine. Jermaine to DTM Kumar. Then again, it will come to Hina, Mujamil, Jermaine, DTM Kumar. So it will continue for 1 to 2 minutes till somebody misses to make a statement. Okay. So then we'll remove that person and continue with the 3 person. Then till is there, okay? Or till we see the red card. Thank you very much. I'm going to make a statement right now. I am the Lord of procrastination, Hina.
Procrastination is the bane of my existence.
Jarmeen?
Existence is a myth. We all crave for purpose.
Jamil?
We all pray for? What was the last
Purpose. Purpose.
Purpose. The purpose of Toastmaster GQ speech was to improve on vocal variety.
DTM Kumar?
What's the last word? Variety.
Yes.
Well, in Toastmasters, we have a variety of
It seems like we lost him. It comes back to Hina
advantages.
again. Okay, advantages, Hina.
Variety is the spice of life.
Advantage.
Advantages of life and living are that you're not dead.
Dead, Jarmeen?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the last word. It's there.
Dead.
Dead.
D-E-A-D, dead.
Yes.
D-E-E-D. D-I-E-D. D-I-E-D, dead.
Died.
Or
okay.
Die. No, D-E-A-D, dead. You're right. Not died, dead.
Okay, perfect. We all have to die one day. That's all I've got.
Mujamil?
Day?
Yeah.
One day. I woke up very early in the morning. Then I slept again.
Thank you very much, everyone. So you see, it requires active listening. It also required to be attentive, to be on the toes, as is. It's a called improve session. Now, Joe Master, I'm sorry, but can you discharge everyone from the spotlight?
Yes.
Anybody who want to try solo topics? I have some two topics and we'll close this session. Anybody who want to try an interesting table topic?
Actually, okay, you can have one DTM Raghu because of time.
Okay.
You can have one. Yeah.
Okay, DTM Kumar, did you say that you wanted to do it?
Yes.
Okay. Thing is, I will keep introducing the objectives in between and you need to keep adding them to your story.
Give your explanation again, please.
You start a story, start telling a story, and then I will keep injecting words or objects, and you need to add them into the story. Just weave the story around those objects and words.
Okay. Once upon a time, there lived a king. The king had a beautiful wife and daughter. But at the same time, the queen was cruel. She was wicked.
Diamond.
My daughter was beautiful and kind. What's the word?
Diamond.
What?
Diamond.
The daughter wore a diamond ring and it shone. It was shining. Everybody liked it, but nobody dared to go near because of the queen.
Hand soap.
And so it happened that that day, a monkey was passing by. When he saw the diamond, He jumped at a diamond and grabbed it and ran away.
Soap.
What's the word?
Soap.
I don't get a word.
Soap. 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 Soap.
Okay, he ran away. SOAK.
No, SOAP.
Oh, SOAP.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the next day, the monkey brought the soap to the princess. And the princess was not so happy and keen. Nevertheless, she accepted the soap and asked for her diamond. And the monkey gave her a clean piece of diamond ring, washed with the soap. It was not long before that. When she got the ring, she gave it to one of her king's servants, whom she was in love with. The king saw it, came to know about it. He was angry. But then it was not all, because the queen added to it and disowned her. The princess had to leave the palace and go out on her own. Are you adding some more words?
Yeah, I think DTM Raghu, yeah, he's just back and we are just out of time. DTM Raghu, are you there?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had an issue with my internet. I'm back now. Thank you. I know the last topic didn't last well, but due to the interest of time, I give control back to our dearest Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Imran Rana.
Thank you so much, DTM Raghu, for
All are qualified.
such a wonderful table topic session full of fun and full of learning. So thank you once again. So since the time the vote counter has the timer just announced that all the speakers were qualified, so you are requested to please cast your vote for the best speaker. I must say that monkey was quite a notorious. Every time that monkey pops in and suggests bad things to the king. Now we are moving towards the most important segment of this session, that is the evaluation segment. So let me welcome our general evaluator of today's meeting. She is the president of Karachi Toastmasters Club. So let's welcome with big round of applause the Toastmaster Hiba. The virtual stage is all yours.
Okay, fellow Toastmasters and guests, general evaluation is an essential part of Toastmasters, without which our session is incomplete. General evaluation is the third session of the Toastmasters meeting and is divided into three parts. First, we are going to have the prepared speech evaluation. So I'll be calling the prepared speech evaluator. The first speech evaluator, the first speaker was TM Alvin Faraz. And so I'll be calling his evaluator DTM Sarfaraz Nadeer. Over to you. The stage is yours.
DTM Sarfaraz. DTM Sarfaraz, sir, are you there? Yeah, he's there.
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Wow.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and especially you, Toastmaster Alvin. If you're wondering what these color lights represent, they represent the colors that I saw on your screen while you were giving your speech. You started with the green screen and you mentioned about it, and then there was a question, should you continue with your speech or not? But you also asked a question, why am I the first speaker? By now you should know why you are the first speaker. It is your excitement your willingness to speak. When you're introduced, you're ready to go. So that's the first thing I love about your speech, was that you opened with excitement. You didn't get slowly into your speech. You were ready to go with your poetry, your song, and your stories within stories. The next thing I liked about your speech was your voice, clarity, vocal variety, loud and clear, talking about the horse running around, King Sheryar. And the third thing I liked was you gave us a lot of stories within the 5 to 7 minute speech. And I never knew that DTM Talha had a date with Michelle. I guess I was surprised. I'm sure President Obama will be surprised. And I'm glad that Toastmaster Anum at that time was not online. So how can you improve after telling us about the king and king having a different woman every day and killing her the next day and so on? The path you're following is engaging humor. So you had an opportunity of starting with humor instead of say, oh, I have a green screen. No, don't explain it. Just say, hey, the reason I have a green screen is because my evaluator is wearing a green blazer. You could have used some humor. And then you had a prop. Besides the perfume bottle, you also had a book. But I noticed that you brought the book in front of you and you immediately removed it. I was trying to read the title of it. And before I could do that, the book was gone. So when you show us a book or a prop, hold it for a few seconds in front of you. Let the audience look at it, and then you remove it. And I have enjoyed the different speeches that you have given so far. It is always a pleasure and an honor to listen to your speeches because you are excited to talk to us. You use stories, you use voice, prose, poetry, singing. What a speech. And I'm looking forward to another speech from you, Toastmaster Alvin. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Sorry for interruption, Madam General Evaluator. I'd just like to remind all evaluators, please send your scores out of 10 with respect to how closely the project adhered to its its objectives. Send them directly to Toastmaster Imran Rana. Thank you so much. Over to you, Madam General Evaluator. Apologies for this.
No. Okay, the second speaker was TM Ehsan Ali. So we have his evaluator, TM Mariam Aftab. Over to you for the evaluation.
Yes.
Thank you. Toastmasters Ehsan Ali. If you run from issues, it will come more harder. Line used by you very wisely. What I love in your speech was that you have shared your personal story, the issues, the problem that you have faced while you came here alone. Trust me, we all can relate. Personal stories always engage other people and create more interest in your own story. Secondly, I love your hand gestures. The way you were pointing it out, a shooter, a gun, the way you have expressed your fear, the way you have showed the tring tring of the alarm, that was very nice. The third thing that I love in your speech was humor. Though this is your second speech, and I can understand, it is not easy to give a speech when you are on a stage and you are still overcoming your fear of a stage fear. But kudos to you, you have done a great job. Now, as I'm your evaluator, I have to point out and give you advices on the points where you can improve a little more. I felt that when you said that, oh, in the ATM, there was some guns, man, you can use more vocal varieties. though there were vocal variety when you were saying that, oh, the ring clock, ring, ring, the alarm clock ring. Trust me, that was the thing that I can feel because I am going through the same problem. Second point that I felt that you can add more on is you are telling your own story. The best part of your own story is that you are the writer. You knows what will come next. Well, we have to take pauses to think and move to the next line. But meaningful pauses are always appreciated. Secondly, you have repeated words quite at times, like I can cook anything. I can cook anything. The same line you have repeated thrice. With that, I can understand you were thinking what to say next. Don't give this chance to your audience to understand that you are thinking. Take a pause. Take a walk. Come back to your position. Say it again in a different voice tone. Let's suppose maybe you were thinking the next line. You said, now I can cook anything. You move towards the other person and said, you know, I can really cook anything. My wife would be very lucky. And then you had a chance to move on to the other line. Meanwhile, your brain will work and tell you what to do next. That I felt that might have helped you in getting your speech better, but nevertheless, I thoroughly enjoyed your speech, the confidence you had on a stage, your story, and the solutions you have come up with. Solutions and the problems, all of it, all the very best. I really enjoyed your story.
The next speaker was TM Raghunda Raja. So I call upon his evaluator, TM Muzammil Sheikh.
Thank you, General Evaluator and President. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, what an amazing story DTM Raghu just delivered today. DTM Raghu started with the famous rhyme, Old MacDonald had a farm, which was an absolutely brilliant and most suitable way to start the story which he just shared and delivered today. Another thing I loved about my speaker, DTM Raghu, is his outstanding vocal variety. The unique thing about the vocal variety when you are delivering online speech is that it is not as easy to demonstrate a good vocal variety that you do demonstrate in a physical meeting. So it's comparatively a bit difficult task because when you are home and delivering a speech online, your voice gets changed because of the mic. There's a disruption behind you, background disruption. So it's a bit of challenging task, but the way DTM Raghu was showing today vocal variety was absolutely fantastic and outstanding. It was completely obvious and it was, perceptible, observable, clearly observable. Moving on, also DTM Raghu, you were very nice in your vocal variety, but sometimes the pitch of your voice, I noticed that go too slow, that I face difficulty in understanding some of the words of you. So I would suggest that just challenge yourself to practice your vocal variety by slightly increasing the pitch of the lowest pitch of yours, which you just gave today in your speech. Just practice it by increasing it at a bit higher level. This is the only improvement I would like to suggest today to you. Overall, you had an amazing start with an amazing story. The objective of your story of the project was absolutely achieved, according to me, and you delivered fantastic vocal variety. Lastly, just challenge yourself by slightly increasing the lowest of your pitch to a bit higher. So I look forward to more of your speech. Thank you.
Moving on, we have moving on to the fourth speaker, DTM Talha bin Hamid. I call upon his evaluator, TM Hinali, to give the evaluation for the speech.
Thank you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Heba. And good evening again, everybody, and DTM Talha in particular. Today, DTM Talha was to present a proposal for a project. And as I had described, he had various ways in which he could do this. Sorry?
Wait, please continue. Yeah.
So what I loved was the way he started. He set a stage. We're bosses. So we knew which mindset to listen from. And then from there, he described a scenario. And from that scenario, he went straight into this incredible proposal, which to me at first was, I wondered, is this serious? And I love the humor and wit that was used here and the play of words. DTM Talha, you never fail to amaze, whether you're speaking about something serious or funny. And today's speech is no different. I think he used humor to shed light on something that's probably a very serious matter, whether it's for people who need to go into the CEO's room or the other very important room, and whether it was for the CEO and also generally all the bosses. Why do people take so long? Excellent, really well done. So in terms of what I loved how you structured your speech, okay? And then I loved the humor, okay? You always engage, always, without a doubt. Only two small suggestions, and again, as an evaluator, they're purely my opinion, and it's very much up to you whether you would like to take them on board. Your incredibly long title totally threw me off. I was completely unnerved about what I was going to listen to. And I was so relieved, and you might have seen, I was laughing at every other sentence that you spoke. So if you could have shortened it a little bit, maybe, I'm not sure if it might have even scared people from coming to the meeting and listening because it was so long, right? But of course, I can understand why there was that, because when you talked about your project and its title, CARPS, that was wonderfully done. So everybody who understands what that is, whether it's the CEO's room or the other room, yeah. So like I said, it's just an opinion. The other thing was your presentation was absolutely awesome when it started going through and matching everything you spoke about. Towards the end, the presentation got a little bit too wordy. So I was trying to listen to you because you said most of that and more, but also trying to follow that. So it would have been nice if those were shorter sentences, maybe bullets. So just those two changes, in my opinion. Amazing speech. I want you to be in a humorous speech contest soon as you're able to. You are off the charts. Thank you, Toastmaster Talha, DTM Talha, for entertaining us. Over to you.
The fifth speaker was DTM Sarfaraz Nazir, and I call upon his evaluator, TM Anam Qadri, to give her evaluation.
Everyone, please give your scores to Toastmaster out of 10. Reminder once again. Yeah.
Only the speech evaluators.
Thank you so much, TM Heba. Fellow Toastmasters and guests. Under the bright sky, a few months back, stood a man with humility and grace that parallels none. Dedicated and committed, he inspired everyone who lived through his speeches with Idea 61. For him, stopping at red light was an accomplishment, but for us, his words were jewels guarded in a chest. While he looked for friends around, his lap filled up with lovely pearls from the sea and bound. Under the bright sky, he stands now with a glow of love of people around. Beneath the halo of inspiring others, uplifting the people to the flowing radiance. DTM Sarfaraz Nazir, I salute you today for giving such an awesome speech, such an inspiring speech, who not only taught us how to express ourselves, how to put our expressions into words, how to give life to our speeches, ways of how we can make it productive and creative. Hats off to you for putting such a wonderful speech forward. And even if it's the last pathway that you're covering today, not only from in the form of keynote speeches, but yes, in the form of those little abstracts that you have been sharing from your life and that had always been inspirational for us, that had a message always for us. From those teeny tiny things and those little mischief that you had been doing in your early days, from Nasreen to Fahmida and to all others, to this day, we have always been inspired by your speeches. And not to mention that today's speech was something that we will always cherish and we would want to hear over and over again. Not to mention, couldn't find anything that needs to be worked on or needs to be improved. So best of luck and hope that we get to hear more from you in the future as well. Thank you so much. Over to you, Toastmaster Heba.
The last speaker was TM Salman Ibrahim. So I call upon his evaluator, TM Alban Faraz, to give the evaluation.
Thank you so much, Madam President and the General Evaluator. My speaker that I had to evaluate was Salman Ibrahim, and boy, did he nail it. He had a purpose to write a speech with a purpose, and that purpose is, my friend, accomplished. So let me give you that report. You have passed this mission with flying colors, mission accomplished. The best things about your speech, first of all, your eye contact was the strongest element of your speech. You were looking directly through into our souls, I must say. It was very nice. Your gestures were good. Then you consecutively used your adjectives. It was ridiculous, stupid, and juvenile, which shows your great command that you have over the grammar and this element of the language. Then you used another foreign phrase, and everyone knows I'm a big sucker for foreign phrases. Deja vu was used in the most brilliant way. That was amazing as well. The clarity of your voice, I was able to hear and understand every single thing, every single word that came out of your mouth. Now, some room for improvement. I would like to say here that it was very difficult indeed. The first half of your speech was quite technical, but the way you connected it with the family bonding, it was firstly beautiful. The evaluation or the improvement that I would want you to make is to understand that you were using terms like shafts and gearboxes. So all of your audience members are not able to understand. So you have to dial it down a little bit there. You have to understand, you have to make the message a little bit easier to comprehend for everyone. A little bit advice for the vocal variety. I thought that it was a little flat. You could have gone a little high, a little low, and that's all that I saw. Again, overall, your pacing was great. Your message was delivered. Your grammar was amazing. Adjectives. Then everything overall, it was a great speech. Good luck for your future endeavors. Thank you so much.
Now we move on to the second part of the general evaluation, which is the table topic evaluation. So I call upon DPM Talha bin Hamid to give the table topic evaluation.
Yes, good. Let me pull up the list of table topic speakers first, because today there were, I don't know, 20? Wait. All right. So everyone, honestly, I don't know how to evaluate today's speakers because everybody perfectly adhered to the time. Thanks to the table topics master himself, who designed adherence to time in the structure of this table topic session. Secondly, everyone completely fulfilled their brief. So there was some confusion, but as speakers spoke, they recovered very well. One evaluation point is that the word of the day was not reminded, and perhaps not many table topic speakers use it. That said, it started with Toastmaster Muhammad Asghar. You were uncharacteristically off your footing today at the start, but then you recovered, and by the time your time ended, you were in full flow. So then we had Toastmaster Irfan Farooqi. Toastmaster Irfan, you have a very neat trick up your sleeve. You start in a very slow and deliberate manner, and that not only makes your speech very attractive, but it gives you plenty of time to think. So absolutely fantastic job. Toastmaster Alvin Faraz, you jumped into it headlong, as you always do, and you perfectly nailed the brief. Toastmaster Ghulam Qadir, here after so many months, and I'm wondering whether being away for so much time did actually do wonders for your movement and vocal variety, because everything was present in space. You just came on the stage, you picked it right off the bat, and you nailed it. So congratulations on that performance. Then we have Toastmaster Shahrukh Farooq, and admittedly he was a little bit nervous, but I believe that he made a good show of it and he tried his best. So, and that is the very purpose of table topics, that you have to come on the stage and speak your heart out. That's all you have to do. You don't have to, be Martin Luther King out there. So yeah, then we had Toastmaster Imran Rana, and this is one of the few times that I saw him having real fun on the stage. Too bad his time ended too early. So yeah, showed your increasing confidence in table topics. Then we had Toastmaster Salman Ibrahim, and you managed to throw so many fancy words even in that small table topic session of yours. I lost count. I wanted to write them down, but I could not. Very well attempted, very calmly done once again. And your pacing is such that not only we can hear you clearly, but you also have plenty of time to marshal your thoughts. So it's a perfect combination. Then we had Toastmaster Mariam Aftab, and Toastmaster Mariam Aftab turns everything into a soap opera, and today was no different. She injects so much passion into even the most mundane of topics. Today she sounded sincere, and each one of these speakers, it was a major shock when their time ended and they had to leave the stage. But that is life, right? Toastmaster Hinali. Today I was shocked because, in a good way, because you managed to cram so much content in your brief comments. So yeah, and you complied with your timing as well. So brilliant job, John. Then we had Toastmaster Bilaluddin, his usual sprightly and upbeat self. It was very well evident in your table topics attempt. Then we had Zarmeen Lakhani, and for a person who is doing it for the first time in Karachi Toastmasters Club, and that too in some maybe the trickiest table topic session I've ever witnessed, you did a wonderful and commendable job. Toastmaster Muzammil Sheikh, your speech had the flavor of a prepared speech. Even you were, for the brief time that you were on stage, you covered all the basics of movement and eye contact. So congratulations. And finally, we had Toastmaster Kumar. There were some connectivity issues, so I could not hear your discourse, but what I heard, it was very creative and very confident. So as part of the general evaluation today, everybody, there was, except for Toastmaster Ghulam Qadir, hardly anyone showed any meaningful voice modulation and vocal variety because all of you were in storybook mode. So it is perfectly acceptable. When you're telling a story, you do not need to act out the character. You just need to, you just have to act out the characters. You don't need to be the characters. So today it was a very different tone to the table topics where everybody was interested in picking up their part of the story and doing well with it rather than displaying their own oratory skills. So it was wonderful to see. And just one improvement area for everyone, that perhaps if people had found a way to insert the word of the day a little more, that would have made this even more incredible. But we all know there is no such thing as even more incredible. It's either incredible or it's not incredible. And today, not only the session Table Topics Master was incredible, but each and every Table Topics speaker was incredible too. Over to you, Table Topics. Sorry, General Evaluation.
Now we move on to the third part of the general evaluation, which is the facilitator's report. So the first the first report will be from the grammarian, that is TM Bilaluddin.
All right, hello everyone. So I'm your today's grammarian. So everyone today was on a storytelling mood and I was just telling some kind of story. And I didn't find many mistakes, but there are a few that I would like to highlight. That like if someone is telling a story, I prefer it to be in the present tense, like or the one tense that you are following. It should be goes into that sentence. Like one of the Toastmasters said, the boy went out. It should be the boy goes out because it was all in the present tense. Another one is like sometimes I felt. Then it should be sometimes I feel. Then the one of the mistakes that I highlighted is I went home and find a solution. So I went home and found a solution. If there is a past tense, then it should be the past tense continuous. So that's the few mistakes that I highlighted in our speakers today. So over to you, TM Heba.
Okay, now we have the timers report. So TM Ghulam Qadir, please, can we have your report? Nine.
Yeah, coming.
Yeah. Sorry, let me turn the camera to the stage. Yeah.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. So there were two speakers who were physically present, and I was noting down their time. So SNLE, Toastmaster SNLE, your time was 6 minutes 56 seconds. DTM Tala, your time was 7 minutes 26 seconds. And as far as the evaluators are concerned, so evaluators, there was only one evaluator, Muzammil, Toastmaster Muzammil. He was physically present over here. So his time was 2 minutes 43 seconds. That's my report. How do you do that?
And as for the online participants, whom I was timing, so each and every one of them was within time, except for one evaluator, Toastmaster Maria Aftab. She exceeded her time by 13 seconds. So what do you say, Madam President?
Disqualified.
All right.
13 seconds is too much.
All right. So I'm floating the poll for best evaluator, everyone. And over to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Okay, now we have the R counters report. So TM Muzammil, could we have your report, please?
Thank you so much, Madam President. Okay, let's start our counter report. First of all, Toastmaster Elvin Faraz, you had 2 hours in your speech and you had 8 hours in your evaluation. Then we have Toastmaster Imran, Toastmaster of the day. You had 3 to 4 hours. TTM Talha, you had none filler word or sound in your speech, but you had 11 hours in your table topic evaluation. And you used
exo counter. All right.
And you used so 4 or 5 times. Personally, you didn't use any filler sound, neither common filler word, but you had some pauses in your speech. So this is it. Toastmaster Anam Kadri, you had 3 hours. Toastmaster Blaluddin, you had 3 hours. TTM Sarfaraz, perfect as always. Salman Ibrahim, you had 21 hours in your speech. If we talk about table topics specifically, so in table topics, Toastmaster Asghar, you had 1 hour. Toastmaster Irfan Faruqi, you had none. Toastmaster Ghulam Qadir, you had 1 to 2 hours. Toastmaster Elvin, you had 2 hours in your table topic session. Shazir Farooq, you had 5 to 6 hours. Toastmaster Mariam, none. Toastmaster Hina, none. Toastmaster Imran, 2 hours in 2 shows. Toastmaster Bilal, none. Salman Ibrahim, surprisingly none. And you had 21 hours in your speech.
Wow.
That was an amazing improvement in such a short span of time. So this is it. Back to you.
Okay, now the word master TM Bilaluddin. Could we have your report?
One question is just word.
I think he's
Just a minute. Honestly speaking, after the GTM Sarfaraz present speech, I forgot to count the word for the rest of the speaker because it was so engaging. But Alvin Faraz used the word axiomatic, as far as I know, and GTM Sarfaraz used the word axiomatic. So I counted 2. I apologize. So over to you, Hiba.
Okay, so the last facilitator is the listener, and TM Musa was the listener. So please, can we have your report?
Thank you, General Evaluator. Am I audible?
Yes.
So here I have prepared a few questions. Let's see if everyone was listening or not. Toastmaster Alvin Faraz said, "I promise I am not dash."
monster.
Anyone?
Can I
Alien.
answer?
Alien, yeah.
Toastmaster Alvin Faraz said, "DTM Tala is going on a date with whom?"
Michelle Obama.
Toastmaster Alvin Faraz said, "Who volunteered to marry King?" What was that lady name?
Shahrazad.
Shahrazad. Right. And Toastmaster Essen was from which city? Basically, he belongs
Hyderabad.
from which city?
Hyderabad. Singh.
When Toastmasters Essen's alarm rang, what Toastmaster Essen do is to dance for how many minutes in sleep?
1 minute.
Yeah, right. What Toastmaster Asen put in a fry pan?
Egg.
Right. And also well. How many people were holding gun on Toastmaster Asen when he was robbed?
Two.
One or two, I think.
Two.
Only one person.
One was holding it, two were there. Something.
Yeah, two were there. GTM Raghu said package was in whose hand?
The farmer.
Farmer's wife.
Oh.
Same thing.
GTM Raghu said what was slaughtered in funeral when farmer's wife died?
Cow. The cow.
Right. The proposal which GTM Tala present, what was its name?
Crafts.
What was its full form?
See. Oh.
That's impossible. No one can tell that.
Yeah, that was
It
difficult
was
to
critical
remember.
room availability positioning system, I guess.
Yeah, excellent. Great listening, listener.
Wow.
GTM Sarfa said how many years back his journey starts?
20 years.
And from where?
Karachi Toastmasters Club.
Yeah.
Karachi Toastmasters Club, yes.
When GTM Sarfraz joined Karachi Toastmasters Club again?
In November of 2020.
June 2020.
No.
November of 2020 or 21.
No.
He never left. He never left.
7.
I'm trying to remember the actual.
October
Until
20.
now, how many GTM Sarfraz gave speeches?
60.
70 plus.
More
I
than
think.
60. More than 60.
77 weeks he's been speaking.
Yeah.
In which city of US GTM?
Texas.
No, Dallas, I think. Dallas, Texas. Or Fort Worth, Texas?
No, none of them.
Texas is the state.
No, Fort Worth, Texas or Dallas, Texas?
No, I think
Neither?
it's another city altogether. Toastmaster Musa, are you there? Actually, he had a little bit of connectivity issues.
Only Sir Faraz sir can tell us now.
Yeah, Musa has dropped, but I'm sure he will come back. GTM Surprise.
Yes, the actual. I live in
Back with a surprise again.
Mansfield, Texas.
Mansfield,
Mansfield, Texas.
It is between Dallas and Fort Worth. Fort Worth on one side, Dallas on the other side.
Yeah, Musa is back. Musa, please resume.
Sorry, I lost my connection. I have internet connectivity issues. That's it from my side.
All right.
Back to you, Toastmaster.
Okay, now my part of the evaluation. My turn. Overall, the meeting was quite informative and with better time keeping in the table topic session, and at the starting of the session, we could have done better time wise. Other than that, the meeting was quite spot on, without any technical or physical glitches or any other kind of problem. That's about it. Over to the Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Hita, for conducting such a valuable general evaluation segment. This brings our meeting comes to an end. Now, let me request to please cast your vote for the best pick 4. Myself, Toastmaster Imran Rana as the Toastmaster of the day. Table topic master, DTM Raju. Table topic evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid, and general evaluator, Toastmaster Hibari Khan. We finally saved Shahrazad for this meeting. And let's see what happened until the next time. Yes.
We need to cut the cake.
And before saying goodbye, we have a cake to cut, and all those who are physical present, they will enjoy the cake.
Yes.
And those who are present virtually, please look our faces.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we will show the cake to DTM Sarfraz.
And we will eat it.
So it's not just for cutting, it's for eating as well.
Yeah.
Congratulations, DTM Sarfraz.
Let me tell you once again that
Thank
he
you.
is the first one in District 122 who has completed all the pathways.
Sir, what's next?
What's next? Training.
He will start giving speeches from old manuals.
Yeah, not the CC, competent communicator, but the even older than that, CTM, competent Toastmaster.
Oh.
But I have a question, sir.
Yes.
What about us?
What about?
I'm not cheap.
Please have a look.
I'm not.
You see this chocolatey cake? In a few minutes, we'll
It's
cut
three-
it and we're going to
It's
eat.
chocolate 3 milk cake, and it has the number 11 on it.
Nana sab
11
gire
years.
nahi bande.
Inshallah.
Actually, I wanted him to
Nazar
write.
na laga.
I wanted him to write in celebration of DTM Sarfraz, turning it all the way up to 11 by completing all 11 pathways. But
We
for
need a
some
bigger
strange
cake for
reason,
that.
For some strange reason, he refused to write it. So
We need a way bigger cake for that.
yeah, exactly. So everyone, please give DTM Sarfraz once again a standing ovation, a big round of applause. And you know what? 4 years ago, there was a Toastmaster in District 105 who came here to Pakistan as well, and he completed that. Back then, there were 10 paths, and he completed them in 1 year. And his district made a lot of fanfare about it and everything. What he told us when he came on the stage was,
He repeated.
keep the same speech, change the audience.
Oh.
So we have, what is most impressive is that DTM Sarfraz is an amazing speaker, but more than that, he is so honest and conscientious that he never claims a project unless he has done it, and he has done it differently from other projects. I've witnessed it personally. Most of you only see him in Karachi Toastmasters Club, but whenever he delivers a speech, he makes sure to send me a message, no matter what time of the day it is, that I have completed this particular speech, and that marks the completion of the level. So not only are we, 60 speeches, and we've never seen him repeat a story completely, maybe some elements, but we've never seen him repeat a single speech. So how amazing is that? And to do all that within a year or so. So this achievement cannot be overstated. So we are all deeply grateful to you, because you completing 11 paths is perhaps just another feather in your cap full of feathers. But it has been nothing short of a life-transforming experience for each and every one of us, for which we are profoundly grateful. You have not only, sir, managed to upgrade all of us as speaker, but you've upgraded the club and you've upgraded the district. And that is the beauty of Toastmasters. If you feel honored and blessed to have been able to do this, and you discovered, as you yourself said, that you discovered a lot of stories that were to be told, you discovered a lot of new skills. That is a lesson for all of us, that if we keep speaking, and I'm talking in particular to Toastmaster Hina and Toastmaster Imran Rana and Toastmaster Hiba and Toastmaster GQ and everyone else who we have to beg to make speeches. So if you keep speaking, that is the only way you will achieve mastery in speaking. There is absolutely no other way. So inspiration is right before you, and he is wearing a crown of lights, celebrated lights. So thank you so much once again, sir, and would love to hear some thoughts from you at this point.
Thank you. Thank you, DTM Talha. First of all, I've given more than 60 speeches at KTC and KTC Academy, and then more than 170 speeches in total in Pathways. And in order to complete Pathways, I had to give speeches at more than a dozen different clubs in different districts. But what I have been able to gain by giving the speeches and sharing my stories, one was I was not sure about the humor in my speeches. I've been using humor long before Pathways came along. But then when I started giving speeches at KTC, I had to adapt to making sure the humor is appropriate for the audience I'm speaking to, and it worked. In some of my speeches where I used humor, people understood that I was using humor. And then I had to make sure that I continue using humor in United States. The encouragement that I received in one of my other speeches on Reflect Your Path, I talked about the evaluators. In this speech, I decided not to mention any name, which was a challenge. And then sometimes I make an outline for a speech, and there's times when I write out the complete speech. But today's speech was not written, not prepared. I thought about it, and then I said, no, I'm going to speak from the heart and just say whatever comes out. People have been using other people's material. For example, keynote speaker, she's an accredited speaker, speaks around the world, but she used a book in a presentation, the dinner keynote, talking about the book and the author and just modified a little bit. But speeches at Karachi gave me a chance to experiment, tell a story and see, does it connect with the audience? Some of the speeches that I gave were brand new. They had never been given before. The stories that I told you were some were stories that I was not sure the audience in the United States could understand. But then some of the stories that I gave at KTC, I tried them at clubs within the United States, and they worked. And the stories that I had given here, I tried giving that story at KTC, for example, Leap of Faith. It was not a speech. It was first presented as a Facebook post on the anniversary, the date that I arrived in the United States, and it worked. So I appreciate all the feedback that I received from dozens of evaluators at KTC. Even though I did not mention their names today, but they have made an impact. And the best thing is that I was able to give more than 60 speeches at KTC without giving a single speech on sex, religion, and politics. and I still have that one speech someday to give, the day when TM Imran Rana becomes DTM Imran Rana. It'll be a speech on sex, religion, and politics.
Wow.
But in the United States, many times people use slang words. Yeah. In the more than 60 speeches I gave at KTC, I only used slang word just once. And it's not considered too much of a slang. And that's because that speech was evaluated by Toastmaster Anum Qadri, and she mentioned that, hey, I used a slang word. And every now and then when I see that word in the newspaper in the United States, I take a picture of it and I send it to Anum Qadri to remind her that word she...
That's why I have to stay silent mostly at home.
but even though, I'm taking it lightly, but it made me pay attention to not use slang words, because especially if for example, if I was competing in a speech contest, one word can make a difference if one of the judges does not like it. So that was a good evaluation. And the encouragement that I have received, that's more than all the feedback. And it's not just simply saying, oh, that was a great speech. No, many of you have told me how you felt when I gave my speech, and that's what the speaker wants to hear. Did I make you think? Did I make you feel? And if I can do that, and the speech I gave at KTC and Express Toastmasters, it was a keynote. Some of the material I used for my keynote here a few weeks ago at the Dallas District 50 conference, and it worked. And then I've heard DTM Talha say that DTM Sarfraz uses his own experiences. And that's true. That's statement, DTM Talha, made me come up with, hey, I need to be unique. Many times speakers give very similar speeches and they're all great speeches, but how do you stand out? In my speech, three things, but those three things were quite excelling, quite impacting, and quite giving. No one else in the United States have ever mentioned those three words. Especially people talk about maybe excelling or having an impact on others, but no one talks about giving as part of succeeding. And that's because some of the feedback that I've received from Toastmasters like DTM Talha, DTM Mariam Aftab, TM Rabia Zishan, and you, Karachi Toastmasters, have given me a new skill to edit my speech while giving my speech. Because today I would have said something differently if DTM Toastmaster Rabia was present. Because two Toastmasters came to my house and they were DTM Talha and Toastmaster Imran. And you saw the temporary Zoom setup that I had in my house in Karachi. But Toastmaster Rabia got to see the actual Zoom setup here in Mansfield, Texas. And that is because of Karachi Toastmasters and my journey through the pathways, that the connection, not with just story, but the connecting with storytelling with others. And that connection brought, when she came to United States, I was able to not only meet her, but host her and let her see where I stand and give my speeches. That would not have happened without KTC and without my Pathways journey. Thank you, DTM, and thank you, KTC members, for everything that you have done.
Imran, please come here to cut the cake. You are the TMOD. Yeah, come on. So, yeah, everybody.
Could we request DTM Sarfraz to take his virtual hand off and cut the cake?
Yeah. All right. So
And I
everybody clap.
everyone to unmute themselves.
Yeah, unmute them, unmute yourself and clap, please.
कोई बिल्कुल नहीं कर रहा है, बाहर है तो मैं आपको खाना है।
DQ.
खुशी
अच्छा, वो that one,
हाँ हाँ, right sir.
1, 2, 3. मुबारक तुम्हें
खुशी का ये सलाम
मुबारक तुम्हें ये कहकशां।
आप तो नहीं खा सकते। On behalf.
हार्टिएस्ट कांग्रेचुलेशन सरफराज साहब, दिल की गहराइयों से आपके लिए बहुत सी दुआएं।
Thank you, shukriya, shukran. It is my honor.
Okay. Madam, over to you, Madam President. Where is Madam President? Madam President has, I think, left and she's coming to be like So I will just quickly announce the result for today. Best prepared speaker goes to no one's surprise, DTM Surprise once again. Congratulations. Best prepared speech evaluation goes to, oh my God, Toastmaster Anam Qadri. Best table topics goes to, oh my God, even out of 36 speakers, Toastmaster Mariam Aftab managed to win. And best big four goes to Toastmaster Imran Rana. Just by one vote. And best facilitator by a landslide goes to Toastmaster Musa, the listener. And for our final award, which is the top 3 critics' choice, and according to the secret critic, 3rd place goes to DTM Raghu. Congratulations. 2nd place goes to myself. Congratulations. And 1st place goes to DTM Sarfraz.
Wow.
So everyone, thank you so much for being with us today and being part of this special moment. And special thanks to our guests from Lahore, Toastmaster Irfan Farooqi, and of course, Toastmaster Hina, DTM Sarfraz. And no thanks to those who are in Karachi, yet they are not here. You know what? This cake is financed from the club money, and all of you paid for this cake. So by not coming here, not eating it, you are just so yeah. And don't think that we'll keep this preserved for you when you come to.
We we hope not. Rotten cake. We really missed it. Oh, darn.
So everyone, our next meeting is on Saturday, the academy meeting. The keynote slot is open, and I believe that DTM Sarfraz, would it be feasible for you to deliver that particular session that you talked about on Saturday?
I can do it the following. I'm not available until 10th.
All right.
So
All right.
Anytime after 11th December
Sure.
onwards, I can do it.
We'll make room for that. No worries at all.
Okay.
So everyone, the keynote slot and all the slots are open.
Okay.
And we'll see you on Saturday at 11 a.m. and then in the next meeting. And everybody, reminder about the international speech contest. So thank you so much, everyone.
One more thing.
Yeah.
It's what is the time?
9:41.
9:40. At 11 p.m. or 11:45 p.m. still you have a chance to renew. Those who want to renew and avail that 50% discount, please go for it. If not, then pay the full.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Area Director. So thank you so much, everyone, and goodbye.